Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, happy Monday, start of a new week. And yes, I am back in the studio. So today, let's talk about what to expect for this week. And Bitcoin bounced 200% the last time this happened. Are we going to see the same thing occur? Well, let's talk about that as well. All right, let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're starting out the day pretty good. Right around 63,000. Even last night, I was filming my Sunday walk video and we were still around below 61,000. So starting from last night, something did occur. But obviously last week, we had a whole lot of FUD. Do we have that this week? Well, still, yeah. There will always be a lot of FUD, that's for sure. The U.S. market is kicking off in the green today. If you're into stocks and you're following Roaring Kitty, well, he has disclosed now he has a huge chunk of Chewy. And this is because of the connection with the guy who bought out the guy who invested in GameStop. The one that's been helping GameStop, I think, is also the one behind Chewy or helping Chewy or something. There's some kind of connection there. But yeah, I don't know about this. And GME obviously is tanking because of this news. And the SEC is also looking at this as well. So if you're a stock person, that's the big news of the day. Anyways, but we're not here to talk about stocks, are we? We do have Powell that will be speaking tomorrow. And then we have a couple of other stuff. The minutes comes out on Wednesday. And that basically discusses what was said behind closed doors at the last FOMC meeting, right? So generally speaking, the minutes don't bring a lot of new information. But sometimes there's some kind of wording or something, and then it spooks the market or makes the market really bullish. So we'll see what may come out or may not come out. But whenever Powell and any of the members speak, generally speaking, they're nothing burgers. But sometimes, I don't know, they say something drastically different and just like changes the market up. But anyways, I guess we'll see. But as for FUD, like I said, a lot of FUD last week. Are we going to have a lot of FUD this week? Well, yeah, we're starting out with FUD from the German government, who has just sent another 1,500 Bitcoin to the exchanges. Not sure why this continues to be a thing. It does seem like they really want to dump like their entire bag, $3 billion worth. And they're doing it slowly at a time, right? I don't know if that is... I don't know if they're really just that desperate for money or they just really just like don't care about Bitcoin and just want to sell it off, right? Because there are still some that truly believe Bitcoin has no value and they just want to get rid of it. So it's unfortunate if they do, because you know what? If they just simply hold on for another year, that $3 billion could be very well be worth $10 billion. $15 billion. I mean, it could happen, right? If they're really desperate for money, they should just hold it a year. Then they'll triple their money. But yeah, so there's still some FUD about that as well, right? It's just, and the U.S. government joined in last week, and I don't know what happened there. It just seemed like there were a lot of coordinated attacks on Bitcoin last week. Okay. Will it stop this week? We don't know. And of course, today is the start of the new month, which means Mt. Gox distribution could start. I don't know if it's today, but it was said by the trustee it start sometime in July. I don't know if that's the beginning of July or end of July. We have to see about that. But there are still a lot of fuddish things going on right now. However, July, generally speaking, is not a bad month. It's not a fuddish month. In fact, it's a pretty good month based on history. So obviously we just closed out June in red. And, to put things in context again, I've said this before. In 2023, from September 2023 all the way to March, we had seven consecutive green months, which has never, ever, ever happened in Bitcoin's history before. Again, think about it. 7 consecutive green months. April, yes, we had a down month, but then we had a pretty good month in May too. June, we came down a little bit, but still held 60,000. And now we're starting out in July, and you can see, generally speaking, July is a very, very, very good month, right? And considering we just had a red June, well, we could continue that trend, right? We could definitely continue that trend. What if we had another 6 or 7 consecutive months of green from here on out? That's also a possibility. Just because something has never happened before doesn't mean it can't happen, just like what happened between September and March of last year to this year. But generally speaking, July is a pretty good month. So that's pretty awesome. And here in a chart form, you could see whenever you form a bottom in June, in July, generally see like a 50, 85, 40, 140, 43, 28% gain. So can we see something like that this month? Yes, of course. Of course we can, right? And there are so many things that support this besides just being July. I mean, you still have a whole bunch of believers out there that are still buying. Metaplanet, which is like following MicroStrategy's footsteps out of Japan. They're buying a lot less than MicroStrategy, but still, nevertheless, they keep adding and adding. They bought another 200 million Bitcoin, Japanese yen worth of Bitcoin. So that's about 20 Bitcoin. Obviously, when Michael Saylor does it, he buys like thousands of Bitcoins at a time, right? Or tens of thousands of Bitcoin at a time. So a much smaller scale, but you have a lot of people that are truly believing, and they just keep on continuing DCA, and that's what you're supposed to do. You buy low and you sell high. Even El Salvador, who only purchases 1 Bitcoin per day, and yes, I'm saying only, relatively speaking, small for a country, but even they have $400 million of Bitcoin now, just by buying 1 Bitcoin per day. DCA over a long haul is the best strategy, right? And companies are now doing that as well. And Sony may be getting in the game. I have no idea, but they purchased an exchange called Whalefin back in 2023, and I guess they've done nothing with it, and now they're going to turn it back up because even Sony recognizes that Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay, right? So that's pretty good. Maybe they'll integrate something in PS6, which I'm hearing is coming out already. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but I saw something about PS6 is coming out. And that's going to piss off a whole bunch of people if they do that. Anyways, okay, so got some good news, some bad news, but what's some really, really, really good news? What's something absolutely fantastic? Well, Fear and Greed Index. I have not looked at this for a very, very, very long time. Very long time. And right now it's sitting at 53, okay, which is neutral. It's fine. Yesterday was 47, last week was 51, but you see last month 73. But you guys may have missed that we hit 30 on the Fear Index a couple times. June 25th and also June 29th, which just a few days ago. Just a few days ago. Okay, if you zoom out, what was the last time the Fear Index hit 30? And you have to go all the way back. We had a lot of scary moments, but you have to go all the way back to September of 2023. Think about it. Bitcoin being at 60,000 to be that fearful versus Bitcoin back in September 2023. Well, what was Bitcoin's price back then? Well, yeah, it was in the 20s, guys. It was in the 20s. Bitcoin was approximately like 24, 25,000. So Take a second to think about it. The last time the fear index hit 30 was when Bitcoin dropped down to about 25,000. And we're somehow getting the same kind of fear right now at 60,000. Tell me how that makes sense. And that was less than a year ago. But here's the good news. Last time we had that much fear in the market, guess what happened? Bitcoin flipped around and went up 200%. But again, it kind of shocks me. That's why, a lot of people get like really fuddish and the comments turn so bad, when we just stay at a level and does not go up. I mean, like, again, to put that in context, last time the fear index was this low was when Bitcoin was at 25,000. And we're more than double of that, yet the fear index triggered again that low. It shouldn't even be the case. There should be no one out there that is this bearish. But that's okay. That's okay. The people that do not believe, the people that are too fearful and they sell out and panic sell, well, that means there are just more Bitcoin for the rest of us, right? But this is what I'm saying. Last time this happened, Bitcoin bounced 200%. Are we going to see the same thing here and bounce? Maybe not 200%, but maybe so, right? Maybe this could be the start. Now that we're in July, a much better month. And there are a lot of charts that show that, hey, that could be the case. That could be the case. Just like, remember that September timeframe I just talked about. Prior to that bounce, Bitcoin did the same thing. It couldn't break through 30,000. I remember that time. Most of you guys were around, right? But again, time seems to fly, right? It seemed like it was so long ago. But no, Bitcoin was still below 30,000 even late 2023. And we couldn't break through. And several times we did. And what happened? We fell back down to this base level of 25,000. And that was when the fear index hit 30, guys. But then, what happened? We formed that base and we kept going. And we didn't stop until we hit 70-something thousand, right? And right now, it seems like that's the case too. We did break through 69,000 several times. We've broken through that record from 2021 several times. It seems like we can't break through, and many people are getting discouraged. But just know that when we do, we're not going to look back. We're just going to shatter through and head to 80, 90, 100,000 plus. It always happens, right? You just have to remember and zoom out a little bit. Or you need to tune in every day and have me tell you, right? But basically, we have seen periods like this before. It gets scary or it gets boring, goes sideways until it doesn't. And when you really look at it from a macro view, you realize that we are still moving according to plan, just like all previous cycles. We may be a little bit accelerated this cycle, but nevertheless, we have just moved just barely past the recent halving event. And you look at prior times to that, they were going sideways too. They weren't really moving. Well, when I say they, Bitcoin back in those cycles, they didn't move 2 months after the halving event. They moved like 5 months, 6 months after the halving event. And we're nowhere close to that, right? It's really that simple. Now, last thing I'll show you in terms of Bitcoin and charts is this. This is using Fibonacci levels and showing the prior times when there was a resistance after the halving event. And there may be a little dip, but then eventually, where does Bitcoin peak out at? Well, if we're hitting the same level, the 2.168 Fibonacci level, well, that shows Bitcoin's going to peak somewhere between 250,000 and 410,000. So let's just go halfway, 300-something thousand, right? That is what it's showing based on previous cycles. And it's not unreasonable to think that it can happen once again. And I just saw in the comment, Bitcoin 2024 conference is this month too. End of this month. July 25th to 27th, right? That could be a catalyst as well. And there's a big IFC fight coming up too. All right, that is pretty much it, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Man, I am tired. I got a good night of sleep yesterday, but I'm still very, very, very tired. It's always tiring to go on a long trip. Anyways, let me see. Let me scroll up, see if I missed anything. Cigar says Kitty, Roaring Kitty is in big trouble. Yeah, the SEC is not very happy about what he's been doing. So, I mean, the good thing is he has boatloads of money to defend himself with, but still, now getting involved another one because he tweeted a picture before his holdings was revealed. So I don't know. Anyways, HK is a new member. Welcome. And then big super chat. What's the difference with this bull run in 2021? Because 2021 we had Tesla dumping. Now we have Germany. And then they have more than Tesla ever had. There's really no correlation there. Just none whatsoever. Tesla bought because Elon thought Bitcoin was a good idea. German never bought. They confiscated it from someone. So there's a big difference there. All right. No, I'm not hungover. Actually, again, I was dead tired when I got home yesterday. I don't know why. And then there's a time difference. So, anyways, is Polygon dead? No, it's just zombie-like right now. Deputy Dog, would you like to drive my Cybertruck for a month and do a review? You know what? If you live around me, I would take that offer. I would drive it around. I saw Brett somehow. I saw them having a Cybertruck, and I saw one up close, and it was kind of interesting. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Cybertrucks. So, yeah. Maybe I'll take your offer on that. But there's been so many reviews done already. I don't know what else could be done. Like, there are people that just bought a Cybertruck to do a review, so. Daniel asks, will Avalanche hit another all-time high this cycle? There's no reason to think it won't. I definitely think someone like Avalanche will hit their previous high and break through it. That's for sure. But as for how high it could get after breaking all-time high, that's anyone's guess. When are you showing up on Killer? You must have missed all the streams and videos that I put out last week. that show that was on killer whales. The episodes won't air until like November of this year. November or December, something like that. But they should have good distribution everywhere. That's what they said. Amazon, Apple, even Netflix. I think they're having distribution everywhere, so it'll be good. But I was only on one episode, one out of the 5 episodes, because I was a very late edition. World of Elliot. Heard anything on Purple Pepe on Deck Screener? Wall Street Bets, F book all over chart thoughts. No. No. If you're going to come out with the new original meme, you don't take what exists and just like add a color to it or an adjective or adverb to it. No. Okay? There's only one Pepe. There's no need to create a Purple Pepe. Okay? Or a Pepe whatever. You just got to come out with a new name. That's how it works. Joe Stringer, BlackRock did not file for a Sol ETF yet, but I think they will. And when they do, it'll pump Sol up more. I like to buy your Cybertruck reservation. I lost it already. They gave my Cybertruck away, so I'm not gonna be able to get another one. Well, I could. I have to go through all the steps and get the financing and all that stuff done, and then they'll give it to me, something like that, which I don't plan on doing. Hey, just don't buy a Cybertruck. All right, in a couple of months, by the end of this year, you will see like Cybertrucks in the used market for below MSRP. I guarantee you that. Did I see your 20K buy? No, I did not. NASDAQ is turning red today. Thoughts on the debates? Well, it's clear that I think it's clear that Biden is not going to be the nominee anymore. It's clear that the Democrats are looking for someone to replace him ASAP. And as for Trump, I think he did. It didn't matter. Trump automatically won because Biden was so bad, regardless of what Trump said. But it seemed like he was not very prepared to answer his questions either. So it was bad all around. But one side was just worse because it seemed like he wasn't even alive. I think the funniest part was when they were debating at who's better at golf. Somehow that became a thing during a presidential debate. Draper Johnson, hey, just joined in. Do you feel Bitcoin has bottomed or there are more liquidity to gather around 58? I mean, I would say last week was pretty bad. A lot of FUD, and we still held 60,000. We didn't hit 58,000, so I think this week could be better. The ETF inflows would be interesting. Last week, majority of the days had inflow, not outflow. There were small inflows, but that can make a big difference as well. And MCT. I think Poly Market is the only thing keeping Polygon a heartbeat nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't hear much about Polygon. I don't. They still have a lot of money, obviously, because they just announced like $1 billion grant, which is crazy for the next 10 years, I think. Still like 100 million a year. But behind the scenes, I just feel like they're struggling. They're panicking about Poly 2. They're kicking out a lot of gamers. Um, so I don't. Yeah, I don't really know. How much does Cybertruck weigh? It's like 8,000 pounds, I think, or 7,000, 8,000. I mean, the Hummer EV is like close to 10,000. Are you planning on coming to Germany? I would like to invite you for a meal. Um, I would like to go to Germany just for the Autobahn, just to be able to drive it, I guess. Drive any nice car on the Autobahn. To be honest, it's not a country I really look forward to going to. I've been traveling so much this year. I'm like really sick of traveling, but this month I'm going to the Bitcoin conference. Um, I actually have some whale passes this month, this time, so that should be fun. Maybe I can, shake Sailor's hand or something. Yeah, and this year I'm traveling so much, mostly due to like Karate Combat, the IFC fights. So I finally got I got the 5 fights locked in for this month. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And a lot of the presidential candidates are gonna be there. Trump and RFK will both be at the conference speaking, and it's in Nashville this year. Um, so could be one the biggest turnout ever in Bitcoin conference history. But yeah, and then after that, I have to go to Singapore. I may have to go back to Vegas in August for Rare Evo if I could do something with them, and then September in Singapore, then October in Salt Lake City for permissionless, and then maybe December going back to the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, something like that. Like I got tons and tons of traveling this year. Greek island. I would love to go to Greek islands. It looks beautiful. I would love to go to Greek islands. Salt Lake City is gonna have a permissionless. I guess it's a smaller conference, but enough people have heard about it. So that's in October. And David Hoffman's company Bankless like sponsors permissionless, and he's still committed to fighting, as far as I know. So that's why there'll be a IFC fight in Salt Lake City in October. Yeah, President Awesome in the last Karate Combat fight in Orlando on Friday, he had to like jump in and choke this coach out that got furious with the decision. That was kind of wild. Romano, I would love to be on your travel. I would like to be your travel agent, take care of all your and team's trips. Are you a travel agent? Romano, where are you from? Generally speaking, I book all my own things. I don't really need it, but that could be cool. Kelly, What's up, man? Is that you? I don't even see a check mark or anything. I don't know if that's the real you. Anyways, Venezuela. Wow. Okay. That's a far distance from me. You know, it's always weird when you travel a lot and then you get back home. You have to like adjust to home life again. It's just like a weird thing. I could see how people that don't have family or kids and they're just traveling and they love traveling and they just keep doing it. It's like a totally different vibe thing. But I would imagine if you travel long enough, you just get sick of everything. But it's like there's always that adjustment, right? When you travel and you come back home and you like come back to reality. You came like outside of the top three, Sol, Bitcoin, ETH. What are your next top three? Um, that's a good question. I would say honestly, you can't lose with BNB. There's a reason why it's up there, but I think its upside is more limited. But I think by now you have to put in Toncoin as like the next up and coming chain project. It's still a weird thing with Telegram, but still they have gained a ton of momentum. I would say Avalanche is in there, and then if I had to throw one more in there, probably at this point, maybe someone like um, honestly, I just throw Pepe in there. I should have listened to myself on Pepe. I want to find a clip where I did an interview when Pepe was like 200 million or 300 million or something like that. And this was just last year. Or no, I think it was earlier this year. I think it was like February this year. I was asked like, hey, if you were going to buy only one crypto to hold in this next cycle that maximizes your gains or something. It was something along those lines. And I said, if you're a degen, right? Like I would just no, I didn't even say if you were a degen. I just said if I had $1,000 and I wanted to maximize, I would just put it into Pepe, and it's up like 20x since then or something like that. I think Pepe is going to do very well this cycle, even though it's already so big. It probably will be like the next Shiba this cycle. Vince, good morning. George from Pam and Vince from California. Get some rest. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. I did get some rest. I had over 8 hours sleep last night, and it still didn't do it. I don't know why. Yesterday I was just so tired. Like when I got home, I just like couldn't stay awake. I kept falling asleep. I was tired out from all the travels. Why are BDC conference tickets so expensive? They always are. I do have a link in the description. It gives you 10%, but like they do a stupid thing where they raise the price as it gets closer to the event. So I think it's a little bit cheaper than 2,500. I don't even know how much tickets are, but I've always complained that every single conference charges way too much for the tickets. Yeah, wow. Yeah, industry passes 2,500 now. I think it was less than that before. Well, you get a 21% discount if you pay with Bitcoin, but still, that's like 2,000. That really sucks. But then if you use my affiliate code, it's like 10% off, but it's still a lot. Yeah, it's not really, they make this so it's not really meant for like general public. It's all for insiders and stuff, which kind of sucks. I don't even know what the festival pass gets you. I guess into their festival. Oh no. Festival pass at least gets you into day 2 and 3. Yeah, so that's a normal one. So they kind of trick you, thinking an industry pass is only, you don't need day one. Day one access sucks. It's industry day. It's like no one shows up. Really, day 2 and 3 is what the days you want to get into. So at least the festival pass gets you in there. A main stage access, expo hall. So that's like $500. It's a little better. $433, or use the link and get 10% off. So this is good enough. You really don't need industry or whale pass. Like all this other stuff that you get from industry, you don't really get. You don't really need. But I'm looking forward to my whale pass. VIP lounge, backstage deep sessions with top speakers, dedicated whale service liaisons. At least I'll get that this year. Have you watched the new House of Dragon? I didn't watch any of this season. I'm gonna wait until it's all done. I'm probably gonna watch it while I'm flying to Singapore, so I have something to do. Max asks, back in 2021 when Bitcoin hit all-time high, how long did it last before major dip? Are we holding longer this time? 2021 was different, man, because we went up 64,000, back down to 28, and then went back to 69, right? There was a lot of manipulation, and 2021 was very, very different because of the pandemic. So if you look at 2017, we're mimicking more like the 2017 cycle. But Bitcoin topped out around December, and then alts took over for about a month and a half. This time around could be different because all the institutions and their money is in Bitcoin. So if they don't dump, then Bitcoin can hold its high or just not dip as much as before. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Overall, today's not bad. We're starting out the day pretty good. Right? Around 63,000. We're heading up. Last week was just really bad for FUD, right? This week, we still got a little FUD from the German government. Don't know why they continue to sell. If they really want to make some money from that Bitcoin, they should just hold. They should just hold it for another year at least, right? But the Fear and Greed Index shows that we have never been this fearful for, I shouldn't say never, but we haven't been this fearful since 2023 when Bitcoin was at 25,000 and we're at 63,000. Again, 25,000 versus 63,000. The fear index should have never gone this low to begin with at these levels, but regardless, it did, and that's really good. So, be strong, people. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, usual time, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care.